Good morning, everybody. I'm going to call to order the Washoe County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting for November 14th, now at 10 a.m. Mr. Dave Solera, will you lead us in Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Solero. Madam Clerk, can I get a roll call, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Bob Lucy, Chair.
Here.
Marcia Burke-Bigler, Vice Chair.
Here.
Kitty Jung.
Present.
Von Hartung.
Present.
Jeannie Herman.
Here.
County Manager John Slaughter.
Present.
Assistant District Attorney Paul Liparelli.
Here.
I'm Nancy Parent, County Clerk. You have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, we will go to public comment, and I have quite a few individuals signed in this morning, so what I will do is I will call your name first, and then I will ask the name following to just queue up right behind them. First, to start this morning, we have Miss Tammy Holt Still, followed by Mr. Will Brown. Can we get the overhead, please?
County Hall Still, Lemon Valley Swan Lake Recovery Committee. The water's still there. I'm still here. Yesterday, I got to attend a meeting with Dwayne Smith and a couple of residents. It went okay. I do have some major concerns about the aggressiveness and the representation of myself by him. Number one, we do not believe that the HESCO barriers need to come down. We have never said that, and we do not agree with them coming down. Number two, we never stated that the water was contaminated. We know it's affluent water. We know it meets NDP standards, but doesn't meet Fed standards, and have all of the tests been done that could be done? Number three, Washoe County is not solely responsible for what has happened with the flooding out in Lemon Valley. There are other entities and other circumstances and factors that are also involved in that. Also, another issue with Silver Lake. If you would please do your research and your history, you will find some misinformation that you are putting out. You can see the photos here. This is a natural stream, and that culvert feeds that natural stream, which is from behind some homes instead, that goes straight to Swan Lake. And that was taken as of 3 days ago before we had any weather. Another issue that was very concerning to me was the fact that it was stated that the FEMA apps for the buyouts should have been completed months ago and submitted, but yet it hadn't been done. Really? The residents are about ready to lose their homes in about 45, or their current residences in about 45 days, which will be January 1st, 2018. But this process is going to take another 18 to 24 months before it can be completed. There's a major issue there. Can you see my point? Also, I was lied to still. The electrical poles have not gone up as they were stated they would be up in June of this last year. And I've also done my math, and I've shown you guys the math and the information. Now I'm getting ready to do a science project to show you the science. I don't have a college degree, but I do have life experience, and with perseverance and research, I will prove my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holdstill.
And I'll take those handouts.
Yep.
Next, I have Mr. Will Brown, followed by Mr. Randy Knoll.
My name is Will Brown. I live out in Spanish Springs near Commissioner Hartung out there. I said, some Americans think the Constitution, as it was written in 1787, should bless the authors with sainthood. The original Constitution left out citizens' rights for women, for Native Americans, and entitled white men to enslave black Americans. The Electoral College provided powers to choose different leaders, even when the popular vote is greater for the person unchosen. The county paid a huge price to abolish slavery. The country paid a huge price. 650,000 deaths and another 1.5 million with life-changing wounds. Women had to wait another 60 years after the Civil War to get the right to vote and to hold an elective office. Pardon me if I don't think the Second Amendment is a stroke of genius. It allows brain-impaired people to execute little children in schools and churches. Ask the relatives of the Las Vegas shooting and the Sandy Hook or the church in Texas. How dear is the Second Amendment to them? We don't live as our ancestors did. Air travel, computers, energy adaptations, communications, TV, autos, and yes, the drastic changes in weapons require us to live a different life. Everyone should pay attention. Our country experiences more gun deaths than any other nation on earth. 30 to 40,000 each year. Our right to life is not being respected or protected, and there are alternatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Next, I have Mr. Randy Knoll, followed by Sabrina Noel.
Morning, Mr. Chair, commissioners, staff, and everybody here. Greetings. My name, for the record, is Randy Canale. I'm training coordinator for the Local 350 Pipe Trades Apprenticeship, and I am also the president of the Northern Nevada Apprenticeship Coordinators Association, also known as NACA. I'm here today just to speak. This is National Apprenticeship Week, and I just wanted to say that wanted to, first off, invite all of you down to any of our training centers to see what's going on. We've been previously called one of the best kept secrets, our training programs. Through NACA, I represent 11 other union apprenticeship programs that represent over 500 registered apprentices as of right now. The average age of a construction worker in Nevada right now is approximately 50 years old. We do have an aging work base that needs to be replaced. We are in the process of training them to come up into these positions in the building trades, and apprenticeship is the best way. At least we feel that way. When you're in an apprenticeship program, you're able to receive college credit. You can actually graduate from TMCC with an associate's degree, and our programs are all tied in with them. These have no cost to the apprentices to attend these classes. And yet, as they're going through the programs, they're usually 4 to 5 year programs. Apprentices can make anywhere from $200,000 to $250,000 or more in a 4 or 5 year program in wage and benefits. And this is a great advantage. It's not. We're not saying that we want the people that are going to be the next doctors or going to cure cancer or anything like that. But it is an alternative. Not everybody wants to go to college. An apprenticeship is not just a job. When you get into apprenticeship and go into the actual building trades, it is a career opportunity. It offers both a good standard income, benefits that include health and dental, vision, all these things. It can cover most of the family as well. Retirement programs, so you can retire with dignity. They just present a lot of good options for people. So I'm just here again. We offered you packets were delivered to each of you, and hopefully you received them. Again, I'm just here inviting you. If you would like to come to any of our training centers, you're more than welcome to come tour them. We would like to show off what we do. We want to quit being that best kept secret, and look forward to the opportunity to maybe see you on a personal note. We also have a couple of apprentices here that are next in line that would like to speak and talk about their experiences. Other than that, unless there's any questions, I thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Canale. Next, we have Miss Sabrina Noel.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and fellow commissioners. My name is Sabrina Noel. I'm a part of the Local 350 apprenticeship program. And I just wanted to come here and let you guys know that females are becoming a lot more present in the trade, and it is very welcoming, and we don't feel like singled out in the trade. And it's a lot easier for females to get in now as well. And it's a very good opportunity for anyone that's thinking like future tense for themselves and has great benefits. And it's just, for me, it was a really good choice to make to go in the right direction for my future. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next, I have Mr. Matthew Murdoch.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I too am a first-year apprentice at the local 350
Can you state your
Union
name?
Hall.
Can you state your name for the record?
My name is Matthew Murdoch,
Thank you.
and I'm somebody who made very poor choices in my 20s and wound up in a dead-end job, gave 10 years of my life to a profession that wasn't going anywhere, had no retirement, no benefits, and the higher-ups really didn't care about me much. It was just, if you could do the job, good. If not, see you later, we'll replace you type of thing. And having changed the course of my life and the direction of my life, and now being a family man with children, a mortgage, and things like this, I felt like I was resigned to a life of staying at a dead-end job and just struggling financially. I tried to do some college classes, and nothing was working out for me. And it was a struggle. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I had a friend who suggested becoming a part of the union, and now I feel I have a whole new chance at life. I have a career. I have a future. And these people like Randy, they care about us. They want us to learn. They want us to be successful. And I can't say enough good things about it. And I love the work. And it's given me, I'm 35 years old now, but it's given me a second chance at life. And I'm so grateful for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. Next, we have Miss Darlene Hesse, followed by Mr. John Hesse.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm here again for Wild Creek Golf Course, Darlene Hesse. Anyway, this would just be such a sad day to see this golf course go. This is a floodplain. It cost $30 million to build it, and it should be preserved for people, for animals. It's open space. It's a green area, and this golf course is just a treasure. And I just cannot believe how this whole thing started. My husband and I found out accidentally about the school board having this secret meeting. It was a press release. Of course, none of us were invited. We've only been Washoe County taxpayers for, well, where we live, 40 years. And I'm really protective of this land. I'm protective for the birds, for the people, for all mankind. And now tomorrow morning at 7:30 at the convention center, there's a meeting. And I hope that we have some Washoe County people show up at 7:30 and see if they'll be there to protect this golf course. It is really so sad. I've never seen anything like it before. I think it's done so wrong. You go over and talk to the poor people, they're scared to death to lose their jobs. I mean, what kind of America is that? What kind of a city is that? You can't even get a picture of an animal from them because they think that if they give you a picture of a coyote, they're going to lose their jobs. I mean, honestly, this is really going to be a billion-dollar debacle. And it's a sad, sad thing. It should not be happening. I really like schools, and I think that this is a wrong area for a school. You don't tear up a $30 million golf course and
put a school in a floodplain. It doesn't even make any sense. It's just an unbelievable thing to do this. You know, this golf course is the only property that you guys seem to have that could make some money. I heard that when the RCVA first took it over, there was $1 million in the bank. This golf course has not been cared for at all. It's been run down. There are so many dead trees on that golf course. And you know what's really really interesting? There's so many people playing golf over there, it's not even on the calendar. I'm hoping that they're going to save some of that money to do some kind of repairs over there. This isn't looking right. And Mr. Paul, whatever, and Ed Lawson, they think that there's something kind of not correct about this, and I don't know. I hope you guys think about this and save that golf course. We need open spaces. We don't need condominiums on every corner. It's just ridiculous. It's beautiful, beautiful property. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hesse. Next, I have Mr. John Hesse, followed by Elise Weatherly.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Hesse.
Well, good morning, everyone. My wife just about took all of my thunder, so I guess when we're looking at this project, and there's probably not any question that we need another high school, but this is not the right place to put it. The floodplain, to take the green belt, it's just not the right place. As Darlene said, the transparency or the lack of transparency that even on that WC1, they said that they wanted to build a high school in the Wild Creek area. Well, we're in the Wild Creek area, but they didn't say Wild Creek Golf Course. So right away we got off on the wrong foot with the school district, and we're still on the wrong foot with the school district. Every time I read about the school district, it's not real flattering. They're either 30 million in the hole, or the superintendent is getting rave reviews from some of her constituents, and then you read the newspaper and it's just the opposite. There was an article in the newspaper, not so much about the school district, but it was the October the 27th, and it was a Reno Evening Gazette article. Critics, school plan is dishonest. And two council people, one from Reno, one from Sparks, both felt the same way that most of those people from Wild Creek feel. There's something behind the scenes, and I don't want to accuse anybody because I don't want to get sued, but there's something behind the scenes that they're pushing this for the golf course. They're not doing any more work on other locations other than maybe a drive-by and then a McDonald's hamburger, in my estimation. But they're spending a ton of money on this Wild Creek thing. It's a floodplain, 2,500 kids. Wow, big school. Like I told some of the other groups, we might need a big school like this, but not in Wild Creek. And also, if you're going to spend that kind of money, maybe you don't deserve a Cadillac. Maybe you ought to drive a Chevrolet. It just isn't right, in my opinion. I do appreciate the time that you folks have put into it. There's a lot of work to do, but I sure hope that it stays at the golf course. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hesse. Next, I have Ms. Elise Weatherly, followed by Mr. Pee Wee Henson.
Good morning, Elise Weatherly, Washoe County resident. I've been here for a long time. Like Tammy Holt I'm still here. This is going to be my new CD titled. But one of the things that I notice is that I have known a lot of people around this community for a long time. There's a philosophy out there that says it's just the way it is, it can't be fixed. Well, I have a philosophy that's going to change that. It says we can fix it if we address the problems and nip them in the bud. So why am I here? I could be home doing other things. I got a lot of other stuff to do. I don't like having to rush through this stuff, but 3 minutes, it's hard to fit a lot of information into 3 minutes. So what's the ROI of telling the truth? Everyone likes to hear the truth, right? Unless, if it puts you in a bad light, then you don't want to hear it. And then what happens is that they want to shut up the mouth of the truth teller because the people that you're telling the truth to don't want to hear it. What if I knew directly from Washoe County people that I know that there's a problem with some directors, that there's some problem with the bosses out there? Now, I noticed that there's some good things out there, but everywhere from Washoe County sheriffs to people that work in the offices, they said there are bosses out there, you guys, that are crushing their employees. They're greedy. They are self-absorbed. They only want what's in it for themselves, and so I've been asked to ask you to please do something, and that's called a morale check. There's a lot of employees out there, just like Darlene Hess said, they're scared of losing their jobs. They're not telling the truth because they could lose their jobs. Well, guess what? I've already lost my jobs thanks to the HR department at the El Dorado, which is another story, and we'll address that later. But I don't have any fear of losing jobs, so I'm going to stand here and tell you guys the truth. You've got some directors out there. Don't let them put on their political faces and smile and say everything is good when their employees are suffering. Why don't you guys go take a little check and see what the employees have to say about certain bosses without them risking losing their jobs? All right? I think it's fair to do. The thing is that we have people like Dorothy Kilgallen out there from a long, long time ago. I used to think that she was a dork, a dorkitis. My brother said she actually stood up for telling the truth about what happened to Kennedy. And guess what? She got killed. And guess what? The mortician considered it suicide. So what we have is a lot of people that are trying to tell the truth, that are putting their lives on the line. They're risking their lives for their friends. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm risking my life for my friends, saying, please, there's corruption going on in this government. Let's stop it. Let's take a look at what the people are doing when there's a job loss. They take that job and they split the money between them, and then they suppress the people underneath. Yeah, they're actually doing that. We have some good employees, too. We've got some good employees over there in the Reno justice system. I think they should be rewarded. But the other ones that are only doing it for themselves, you guys, please, if you really want a voice, if you really want to hear a voice, take what I'm saying seriously and go check it out, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Weatherly. Next, I have Mr. Pee Wee Henson, followed by Ms. Kathleen Shup. Shoop?
No,
Shup?
you got it right.
Shup, okay.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Pee Wee Henson. We all know why I'm here. I'm a little frustrated, disappointed. I started this process probably close to a year ago, and all we were looking for was a couple signs up on Peavine Access Road that says, we can shoot here, we cannot shoot there. And we got 0. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to forego this whole plan. And when somebody gets hurt up there, I'll be sure to chase them down and let them know that the people that lawyers want to talk to would be you guys. Because there's no sign that directs the idiots to stay away from the gunfire. We've all stood here before and heard people talk about, I heard gunfire on Peavine, so I walked over to see what's going on. That's stupid. And those are people who will be suing you because you did nothing to protect them, which really shouldn't be your job. But being the government the way you are, that's what you think you got to do. So that's what's going to happen. I'm tired. I'm done. I'm not messing with this no more. I'm going to let the chips fall where they may and wish you maybe you get good luck. And the deputy, I appreciate your work. Thanks for what you do. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Henson. Next, I have Ms. Kathleen Shup.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Kathleen Shup, and I live in a property adjacent to the Wild Creek Golf Course. I don't understand why the county would be in a hurry to get rid of the golf course when it has the potential of making money for this entity and for the entire county, city of Sparks, everyone. The golf course is losing approximately 1/5 of what the convention center is losing, and I don't see that anybody in a hurry to dump that property. It's in our best interest to allow a private entity to manage that golf course and bring it back into the black, make it once again a profitable venture. There are many, many acres of undeveloped BLM land for the school district to build schools on without having to destroy the $30 million asset. The golf course offers our citizens an affordable golfing venue. We have seniors for First Tee and many other groups of golfers who use the course regularly. We have an assortment of animals and birds who have established home on the course, and getting rid of that golf course would be the destruction of all sorts of habitats. It's my view that we need to keep the property as a golf course and turn it over to capable management firm, such as the one that's running Sierra Sage and brought that into a profitable venture again. This is a beautiful property, and it has many water rights. And speaking of water, do we even know what the water rights are that are attached to that property? I'm sure a developer would love to be able to acquire all of that water. Could it be that the driving force behind this whole deal is just that? This is a beautiful piece of land with water rights, but it is presently no developer can get into it without first finding a way around the public facilities zoning. If a school were to go in there first, it would allow the remaining acreage to be open to even high-density housing. The citizens of Washoe County do not want to lose green spaces. Everyone I've spoken to has said the same thing. Turning that golf course into a high school is a very stupid idea, and I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shupp. Next, I have Mr. Wesley Griffin.
And Mr. Griffin provided a handout, which I'll distribute to the board.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Did you had a handout? Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Griffin.
Good morning. I'm beginning to feel like I know some of you on a first-hand basis. I've been here a number of times. But I'm here to speak in favor of saving Well Creek. I think the topic that I'd like to speak about today is something we're all faced with, something very, we deal with practically every day. It's called garbage in, garbage out. We're all faced with making decisions every day. How many of you would buy a car that was well known to be a lemon? Not many of us. I don't know if any of you look at reports like Consumer Reports, but not many of us would go and buy a car that's a lemon. How many of you remember Bernie Madoff? Bernie Madoff. That name ring a bell? One of the biggest financial scams ever. Now, I'm not purporting that the Wild Creek Golf Course reaches that level, but let's just put it more on a personal basis. Let's assume that your personal financial advisor, you'd found that he had been misleading your friends. Now, you could say, well, that was them. I'm sure he wouldn't mislead me, right? I mean, who would do that? I mean, I know him. He wouldn't mislead me. It's easy to make that assumption. But we know that we have been misled by this deal to put a high school on Wild Creek. First of all, it was presented as building a high school in the Wild Creek area. The people that were proposing this said there was no plan B. That's one of the things that really raised a lot of flags with us. Who among you would take advice from an advisor that was going to spend $200 million and not even have plan B? Publicly admitted there was no plan B. More than once. Not only him, people on his staff. Then what happens? We come up with not only plan B, but X, Y, and Z practically. Well, not quite that bad, but 9 different plans supposedly. And it was a sham report. I say this because it was not a due diligence report, it was a justification report done after the fact when everybody said, where's plan B? Well, we're going to really blow you away. We got plan X, Y, and Z practically. And it's full of holes. I don't have time to tell you about the holes, but it's full of holes. And it all starts off with somebody being less than, shall we say, honest or transparent. You pick the word. But are you going to accept advice from that kind of report? I hope not. I have more faith in you than that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Next, I have Mrs. Kathy Brandhorst. Ms.
It's Miss, M-I-S-S.
My apologies.
Yes. My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I am the United States President. I just wanted to let you know I'm still on C Street in Sparks. The problem is still existing. As you can see, those couches were thrown out of somebody's apartment because it's full of blood and flesh. Oh my God. We don't know who killed and murdered the people inside the apartment. We're not sure who you are, that are the murderers on that property. But it seems like there was a table and chairs full of blood and flesh all over the table and chairs. Oh my God. You people think you could get away with this? I hope not. This is not your property. You don't live there. Yes, you are squatters. You open up the door, you kill and murder the people inside the apartment, and you say it's yours now. This is where you live. Well, I hope you don't get away with this, because you don't deserve to have a place to live when it belongs to somebody else. They lived there for 25 years, and for them to lose it all of a sudden because somebody needs a place to live? Blood and flesh all over the apartment. No matter how it looks, it's still blood and flesh and bullet holes and arrows sticking out of the walls and floors. Is that how you leave it? Yes, it is. Isn't it? It's the truth. Why don't you tell the police the truth? You lie. You're big liars. That's all you do. You lie. The lies get bigger and bigger and bigger. So the police just drive away and forget about it because they don't know who you are, I guess. They don't know that you are on death row. They don't know that you are the murderers in that area. I guess they don't know that you put yourselves there, even the bank robbers, the grocery store robbers, the gasoline robbers. Oh my God. And you still think that you can get away with it because we have dead bodies now laying across the street.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right, seeing that we have no further public comment, I'll bring it back to the board at this time. We are on to item 4. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, item 4 is our Commissioner and County Manager's announcements, reports and updates, requests for information, or topics for future agendas.
Great. I have Commissioner Herman signed in.
Yeah.
In response to Mr. Henson's comments, I kind of tend to agree with them. When I asked for this item, I thought this should be fairly simple, and but it has turned out to be complicated. I wish I'd just gone and bought some signs and put them up, because it would have at least given us a little insurance. But anyhow, that's what happens sometimes when people ask for things that they think is real simple, but they just turn out to be very complicated. So that item, I agree with Mr. Henson on. Getting back to apprenticeships, this is wonderful program, all the different union programs. And right now I'm working with some other people on some of the trades that actually don't have a union anymore. And we're trying to work some similar programs up so that we can get some more people out there working on jobs where they're needed and will be needed to more of a degree as time goes on. So that's all I had to say today.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Herman. Commissioner Jung.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do, and they left, which is too bad. If staff could reach out, let's do a resolution for next year for National Apprenticeship Week to support them and to get the word out. Perhaps develop some PSAs to help recruit them as well, knowing that the trades are suffering exactly what the county is suffering, what the school district is suffering, is that there's a tidal wave of baby boomers who are getting ready to retire. And so there are lots of job openings, and there are untraditional paths you could take. Not everybody does need a college degree or a diploma. That people are going to need to be plumbers and electricians and all of those other things, and there's a great fit for those who don't love to go to school and would rather work with their hands. And my husband always says the plumber of the future is going to be the richest guy on the block because there's so few of them, right? So few people going into that. I wanted to also, I was going to make my complaint here, but I have learned that we have a new portal of doing requests for staff. I, over the weekend, hiked Davis Creek with a girlfriend of mine, and we were looking for the Discovery Trail inside of this fabulous Truckee Meadows Trails handout. And while it is on the Truckee Meadows Trails handout, we could find no signage to find the Discovery Trail. So we just kind of had to meander in, and we found it. We stumbled upon it, but everybody else, Ophir Trail was marked, the Nature Trail was marked, but not Discovery Trail. So usually I would say that up here as a request from staff. I'm not doing that. I called Washoe 311 and spoke to Maria. Cecilia and Maria are the employees there. They are complete rock stars. They both speak Spanish as well. And I put in my request for service. And so this portal will help commissioners have a even place to submit our requests and then to look at how the requests are taken care of when it's non-policy requests. That's a non-policy request. Don't even need to have that come back to the board. I just need it solved. So I want to let you know, so this handout, which is great, and you should be taking it to all your meetings, marriage license, pothole, property taxes, Washoe 311 is a customer service center that provides our community with accurate, helpful information 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we have a call service that you can call at any time. So if you don't know where to go for help or you have an issue, this is the place to start for sure. And it's a one-stop shop. And even Cecilia and Maria are on the card. So to advertise this, so I just wanted to show you that I've learned how to use the portal of 311, and it was remarkable. It was easy. It was all business. Even when I said, this is Kitty, what's your address? What's the address of the issue? What's your phone number? Is this how I can get back to you? Perfect. And that's what I like. And then we get a printed report every month of where, and that way staff also can see if something is rising above region-wide that we need to correct. So that's my plug there. And I just want to thank the staff at Washoe 311 for putting together a call center and picking it up from ground zero, and I think demonstrating as a region what a good call center can be and how to use it as policymakers. So that is all I have for right now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Hartung.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This morning at our Truckee River Flood Management Authority meeting, we did a Nevada Flood Awareness Week proclamation, which is November 12th through November 17th. So I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. It was, Washoe County was November 12th. It was at the Meadowood Mall event. Gardnerville is today, November 14th. City of Yerington is November 15th, and City of Elko is November 17th. And that's Northern Nevada Flood Awareness, which is paramount for all of us. We weren't the only ones. Douglas suffered greatly as well. So And I know Yarrington and Elko, lots of issues all over the county. On a similar note, Mr. Manager, can we have someone come in from Burning Man and talk to us about how they dealt with the water on the playa in Pershing County? So that's my first request. You guys might not be aware of this. I contacted staff to find out what type of basic permit that I needed to get a cargo container to put on my property, and we have not changed the permitting process. Nothing has changed with it yet. Looks of question on all faces. It has not been changed. So I would like staff to bring cargo containers back to us. I thought we gave direction to staff on the very clear direction. You know, a guy like me, I've got 1 1/3 acres. I know where my septic tank is. If I'm dumb enough to put it on top of my septic tank, then that's going to be my own problem. So we're still where we are. Also, I know Commissioner Burke-Bigler's been working on this, Mr. Manager, but when you bring dispatch back, can we talk about Tiburon and the licensing? I think that it belongs to the city of Reno. So I'd like to find out about that. Just doing a little research. And then, finally, can we have staff give us a report on how residents should prepare for all natural disasters, including flood, whether it's earthquake, whether it's fire, whether it is high wind events, whether it's flood. You know, we all, as residents, as homeowners, have a responsibility to protect our properties. And I think that that we need to talk about what those responsibilities are. If you live in a flood-prone area, perhaps it's time now to start sandbagging. And so let's have that conversation. And that's all I have right now. And it's other than the signage on Peavine. It'd be nice to know what I thought we decided to put signage on Peavine. So I don't know where we are with that. It'd be nice to have that come back to us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's important for us to point out that at this point in time, this commission has not had the opportunity to review the Wild Creek Golf Course information. That has not come before this commission. It will not come before this commission until December 12th. At that time, a presentation will be made to us, and you know, I guess we will make a decision based on the presentation that's made to us. But at this stage of the game, we appreciate everything that you are all saying to us and are concerned about this, but I don't know a whole lot about it yet, and I've not seen any real documentation on it yet, and I don't believe, and I know there's not been a presentation to this commission. So hang tight with us and let's get to where we at least have some information on it. And yeah, so I think that will be very beneficial. I do have a meeting with RSCVA on Thursday and they will make a presentation to me and I guess they're meeting with all the commissioners, and so they'll make a presentation to each of us on what their position is. I also have a meeting with Lindsay from the school district, and she's going to make a presentation to me also. So hopefully by the 12th, I'll have some background information and we'll know a little bit more about this whole project. But I just wanted to go on record that I think it's important that you understand, so far this commission has not heard this, and we won't be hearing it until the 12th of December. Additionally, I know a number of people, and I was talking to staff about this yesterday. I know a number of people who have homes in the far west along the pathways where Peavine comes down, and they have reported to me that they're hearing a lot less shooting. They're seeing they walk the paths all the time. They believe that people are already doing that, and on the other side. And frankly, I'm surprised that we don't have signs up there. So maybe this is something that needs to go to 311, and we need to escalated up. So let's get this to 311 and find out where those signs are that are supposed to be out there. And I see that our county manager is saying, yes, he's aware of it, and he will be working on this on our behalf. And then finally, I wanted to let you know that I walked in the Veterans Day Parade on Saturday. It was delightful. There was a big crowd. I was handing out flags, and my children, who always have to go with me, it's too much fun for them. My grandson is in ROTC, so he was marching in with the McQueen ROTC people. But my granddaughter and her husband, my grandson, were also walking along, and they were handing out candy right behind me as I was handing out flags, and my daughter was there. And we made it a family event. It was delightful, and we had such a great time. There were so many veterans, and I want to tell you, I'm still amazed at the World War II veterans and the Korean War veterans who come out and are out there and are being honored by our community. And so it was a delightful experience. And next year, I hope everybody can join me. I know everybody was tied up with other things this time, and but it was great fun. So that is all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to take a stab at this. So I want to do one point. I want to point out a couple of things that obviously Madam Vice Chair and Commissioner Jung, obviously 311 is a program that we put together here at the county to make sure that there is more availability for citizen outreach, very easy access to staff and being able to place your requests, place your concerns, and so that we can respond to those and really get some attention to you immediately through that call center. And I want to thank Commissioner Jung. She's been a strong advocate for this and has continued to put in fight for our call center within our staffing to make sure that people are getting the responses that they are looking for when it comes to certain issues throughout the county. Whether you live within the city of Sparks or Reno or within the unincorporated area, this service is available to all county citizens, and we want to make sure that everybody's attended to and every issue is addressed. So thank you, Commissioner Jung, for all your work that you've done with that, as it has been a tremendous, in my opinion, a tremendous asset. One thing I want to point out, Commissioner Herman and I got an opportunity. All of the commissioners here at Washoe County were invited. However, obviously the schedules are challenging, and Commissioner Herman and I were able to participate in the Nevada Local Elected Officials White House Convention. Commissioner Herman and I went to Washington, D.C. and had meetings at the White House last Friday. And we spoke to all of the number of departments, from the Department of Energy, Department of Interior. We spoke with the White House Chief of Staff. We even got to meet with the Vice President and talk about Nevada issues and how it relates to Northern Nevada and how the certain federal government decisions impact our Northern Nevada, from healthcare to housing to transportation. A number of those issues were addressed. So Commissioner Herman and I, we're lucky to participate in that, and hopefully we were able to carry the voice of our constituents back there to Washington, D.C. And one of the challenges that we face here in the state of Nevada is that 85% of our state is owned by the federal government. And when you have 85% of your state owned by the federal government, they pretty much dictate how and what you do within your state in regards to, we receive payment in lieu of taxes for some of those public grounds, but it's very, very nominal. And so we have to make our way on our own quite often. And that's providing roads, mass transit, healthcare, a number of services here within the community with very, very little income to do so. So it's important that we continue to have these types of relationships with the federal government to make sure that our needs are addressed as we move forward here in Northern Nevada. I also got the opportunity yesterday, as the chairman of the RSCVA and a commissioner and the chair of this board as well, to participate in the groundbreaking events down in Las Vegas for the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a wonderful event, well attended. I know at the Las Vegas Stadium, it can be a contentious topic, but from my standpoint and from my vision yesterday, in my opinion, this will be a phenomenal addition to a beautiful city in Las Vegas. It was a wonderful event put on by the Raiders. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, was there. A number of NFL owners, Governor Sandoval, all of the legislators that were there that participated in the help. And it's going to be a wonderful event. They will build a nice stadium that will not only house the Las Vegas Raiders, but also the UNLV Running Rebels, a number of different sporting events year-round, and it'll be something that Nevada can be proud of. So I was very honored to participate in that yesterday. And I want to thank our Madam Vice Chair for participating in the Veterans Day Parade this weekend. That was, unfortunately, I was out of town and couldn't be in attendance. I was up in northern Nevada and dealing with some other issues. But it was a nice event. It was a wonderful event. I'm glad she was able to participate and support our veterans. Not enough. We don't do nearly enough for the veterans and those who serve our country, and need to continue to support those who do. And so it's through events like that, but also, it's not just one day of the year. We need to do it 365 days a year, support our veterans and those who serve, because public service and military service it goes without. It is a thankless job, and it goes without a lot of reward. And these individuals give their lives. Some give their lives, some give a lot. And we need to continue to do what we can. So here at this county, we'll continue to be supportive of veteran affairs as we move forward. So with that being said, I am all done, wrapped up. Commissioner Hartung.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And we all got this email, but I'll just announce it. Christmas tree permits are available now. The U.S. Forest Service is allowing cutting now, so all you have to do is go down and get your permit. It opened today, November 14th. The address in Sparks is 1200 Franklin Street. That's over off of Gregg. Hot August Night, Sandy Hut, that's Franklin right there off of Gregg, but they're actually down farther to the north. And remember, you do have to have a permit to cut a tree. You can't just take your neighbor's tree down. Probably not wise. I thought apple trees were Christmas trees. But they are first come, first serve, and the permits are only valid through December 25th, and they are non-refundable. Once you buy a permit, and if you decide not to cut a tree, it's non-refundable. So that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, I do have several announcements, reports, and updates, so bear with me on this. Regarding today's agenda, we have 3 items that have been requested to be removed. Items 5E7, that is regards to the Chinese Lantern Festival, that will come back to the board in a future time. Item 15, the wildfire season update, we're going to take that off today's agenda. And then item 16, which was commissioner requests, we're bringing that on a quarterly basis rather than a monthly basis, so that will come back to you. In the realm of announcements regarding the issue of Wild Creek, and Commissioner Burkbigler is correct. To date, no decisions have been made by any of the entities, this board, the RCVA, or the school district, in regards to the future of Wild Creek as a golf course or a high school. And certainly staff, your staff is monitoring the process to be sure that the item, when and if it does come to the board, that all known facts are available for decisions. So a couple of key dates that are coming up to take note of: on November 28th, the school district will be receiving a report from their staff related to the feasibility of a potential high school on the Wild Course golf course. On November 30th, the school district will hold a town hall meeting to discuss the direction received from that meeting previously. And then, if necessary, and if on December 12th, if the Board of Trustees of the school district decides to move forward, we will have school district staff here. There will be a joint meeting between the County Commission and the RCVA Board to discuss a potential proposal, if it does move forward, for the purchase of a portion of Wild Creek. So that's the process that's moving forward. I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. I also wanted to give an update and some announcements related to flooding issues. You may recall that back on September 12th, the board provided specific direction on 4 points to staff. Just as a reminder, and this is in regard to the North Valleys area. Number one was that we would maintain the existing barriers, the HESCO barriers, the storm pump systems that are currently in place to protect the community. Those are continuously monitored, and we are, staff is out there frequently checking on those and making sure that those are all functioning properly. The second item was that staff was to pursue the development of a flood response plan. That is underway. Number three was staff was to pursue the development of a flood mitigation plan, and that is also underway. And then finally, that staff was to continue to pursue the FEMA grant program for the possible purchase of specific residences, and that is most certainly underway, and meetings are taking place or scheduled with those affected residences. Regarding the housing assistance, I just wanted to mention a few things. We do have currently 6 families that are still in housing. The average monthly housing cost for that is about $1,400 a month that is being provided. Initially, we had 14 families in housing. Some of those have moved back as they can. That housing assistance originally was due to expire in July of 2017. Washoe County requested and received, we're in partnership on this with the state. We requested and received extensions twice from the state, both times communicating to the residents that were affected that the continued 100% rental assistance would end at some time before the end of the year. And certainly our social workers are still active. They have and they continue to work with all of the affected families. On October 30th, the county and then subsequently the residents that are in our assisted housing we were notified that as of January 1st, the Nevada Division of Housing will require the residents that are in this housing to pay a portion towards their housing cost and begin to follow the state's normal eligibility requirements. They would stay where they are, but they would state and county, as I said, social workers will begin working with them to determine eligibility for that program. One last item I wanted to mention related to the culvert that was referenced during today's public comment. I will have staff check on the location and the condition of that culvert to determine the situation there. And then finally, related to flooding, I wanted to mention that on November 18th, from 10 to noon, we are hosting our North Valleys Winter Preparedness Open House. This will be at the North Valleys Community Center in the North Valleys Regional Park. And this will be an opportunity to meet with various individuals, experts from throughout the region to talk and have an opportunity to talk about questions regarding closed basin flooding and the upcoming winter plan for protection. And then finally, I did want to mention related to the Peavine sign issue. Staff is certainly working at the direction of the board, working with the Forest Service and several interested groups to develop appropriate and approved signage. Peavine is Forest Service land, and so all the signage that goes there has to have Forest Service approval. We are working on that approval. We have the purchase order ready to go for the signs. We are just waiting on our federal partners to give us final approval on the location and the content of those signs.
Thank you, Manager Slaughter. And I have one last request that I forgot to add in my comments as well. I would like to have staff bring back a resolution for this board in regards to potential support of Marcy's Law. It is a law that it's going to be on the ballot next November. It is a law that is for victims' rights, protects victims' rights here in the state. Obviously the U.S. Constitution and every state constitution has enumerated rights for individuals who've been accused of a crime or have convicted a crime. However, the Constitution in 15 states, state constitutions, do not extend the same amount of rights to victims of crime. And so one of the, obviously Commissioner Jung is a strong advocate of the judicial reform, and I have been as well. But this is something I think that this board should get behind and support going into next year's election cycle. This is Nevada, Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Idaho. Oklahoma and Maine are all on the ballot next for this support to do this, and I would ask staff that we bring a resolution of support in support of this going forward. So that would be a request of mine. Thank you. All right, seeing nothing further at this time, we will move on to our consent agenda. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, your consent agenda today is represented through items 5A1 through 5G8. And as I mentioned earlier, we have requested that 5E7 be removed from today's agenda.
Okay, 5E7, the removal of 5E7. Are there any consent items that any of the commissioners at this time would like to remove? Commissioner Hartine, or discuss?
Just a possible point of discussion. On 5E6, it talks about the dedication of roads that become public right-of-way. Should we have a discussion on the dedication of public streets and right-of-ways for future subdivisions and the use of that for extending development? I've had people say to me, how can they use our street? Well, it's a public street. And so consequently, if there are people, especially in some of the smaller places that don't want to grant access, don't dedicate your street. And have Washoe County maintain it for the next 35 years or 30 years or 20 years, and then say, I don't want people to use my street for access to an adjoining parcel. So I don't know whether we possibly should just have a conversation on how dedications work, why they work, the reasons for dedications, and the standards that dedications have to be brought up to.
So would you like to do that as a
Secondary, I think so.
future item?
Correct.
Not today?
Correct.
So we can do that as a future item request?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we save that, and we'll do that as a future item request at the end of the meeting. Is that okay for you?
No, and they've already, I think they've got it now, but there's a whole bunch of streets that are being dedicated here, and I think that people need to understand that dedication process. So I'm okay with this. I want to leave this in, but yes.
Okay. Would you like a brief report from staff in regards to what those streets were or anything like that in regards to the?
I need nothing of the sort.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay,
Exactly.
perfect. Okay, so seeing no further discussion on these items, I do have Commissioner Jung.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to bring to the attention of the public item 5G6. We are accepting a donation of $100 from the Motorsport Auctions Group, LLC, to the Washoe County Sheriff's Office for the Citizen Corps program to use for food purchases to feed the Corps. And I see the lady in charge of the Corps that we honored as the Impact Awards. So it's nice to see that Impact Awards also impact their programs for themselves, because people take notice of the great work they do. So, and I want to thank the Sheriff's Office and especially those citizens who volunteer to provide such a vital force multiplier for any time we have emergencies in this community.
Thank you, Commissioner Jung. Thank you for pointing that out today. I appreciate that. We do have some public comment signed in, so I'm going to take public comment right now, and then we'll call for the vote. I have Miss Elise Weatherly signed in, followed by Miss Kathy Brandhorst. We'll address that as she approaches. Miss Weatherly, what item will you be speaking on today?
5C.
5C?
5C, yes.
Okay.
Elise Weatherly, Washoe County resident. Basically, what I notice about all of these proposals is that they have to do with money. So what I'm going to ask for on these things, that there is human and money accountability in all these areas. You're mentioning the Division of Child and Family Services. You're mentioning the Director of Human Services. You're mentioning the Comptroller's Office. And you're mentioning Human Service Agency. And I'm asking you guys, I know you guys have some great employees in Washoe County, but I also know that there are some people that need to be reviewed and looked at and find out what's going on. So I will do a follow-up, if it's okay with you, to see about the morale issue. But what I've noticed is that with, Mr. Lucy said that we have so many services and so little income to do it. And what I'm going to say from an observation standpoint is that we have a tendency to give away to the store. We give to people who won't give back, who could work, but we're enabling them to do these things. We're giving away, and I don't know if this has to do with you or not, food stamps and housing and all these things for people that could work, but they have chosen not to. And there's a scripture that says, if you don't work, you don't eat, all right? The workman is worthy of his wages, just like the plumbers, right? They're worthy of their wages. But there's got to be some accountability that they're actually doing the job. So please, let's stop giving things away. Child services, I'm completely for them, because the kids don't have a choice in this thing, right? Watch out for them. But there's some other employees here that are saying that there's some decisions that are being made that are squeezing the employees that are good employees. So please look out for that. All right, also we have proclamations, PC, right? I think proclamations are giving you guys a bad reputation because it's like it's words only and no action. So I'm saying, yes, we have to look into these things like flooding and child services and everything, but let's make sure that it's got some good accountability behind it, that it makes sense, that we're spending money in the right place for the right reason. And one of the things I would like to object to strongly is Spanish speakers that are being given, jobs are going out to bilingual people now. People that only speak English are not getting job opportunities like bilinguals are. And what I'm saying is that, what is this saying about the Spanish community? That they're not smart enough to learn the language of their country? I say, no, that's not true. Let's take a look at changing that so that we, do what's right for child services. Please, 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 please let us get into the schools to tell these kids that there is such a thing as right and wrong, that they can't just do whatever they want with themselves, that there is some accountability, and that there will be a good ROI if they do the right thing when they're younger. Okay, I think it's good for us to teach that. So I'm just saying, please, accountability, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bellerly. Ms. Kathy Brandhorst.
My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I am the United States President. Yes, you have been mentioning the state of Nevada. Division of Child and Family Services. Well, I do hear children crying outside. They have no place to live at all. You haven't given them a choice. If they can live somewhere else, what's outside? You don't know. It's cold out there. They found the children frozen to death because the ice has been falling. The youngest was 2.5 years old. The oldest was 6. I don't know what the problem is that you say we have caseworkers. Who are they? What are they? Have they really been hired? No, they have not been hired at all. You tell us that they are good people. They are not good people. They are child molesters, child murderers, child sexual abuse. This is who they are. And we don't need this in our area at all. They are kidnapped. Yes, and when we find them, they are burned to death in an automobile. These children are abused by caseworkers. There was also a statement, about the bilingual stealing payroll checks. That's why they're in department stores. That's why they're in grocery stores. That's why they're in the gas stations. That's why they are, they have not been employed at all. And again, they are put out there by the case workers. Oh my God. Stealing payroll checks. Those payroll checks don't belong to them. They belong to other people, but they have the right, they do not have the right to cash those payroll checks when it belongs to somebody else. Oh, what do you do with the payroll person? You said you send them down to the Social Security office for a smaller check to live off of, maybe a disability check, or maybe it's going to be a check that they, seniors, you know, they have checks that unemployed too.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right. At this time, seeing no further public comment, I'll bring it back to the board. At this time, I'm looking for a motion.
Move approval
with the removal of SE7.
with the removal of FE7.
5E7, I'm sorry.
I mean, sorry,
5E7.
5E7.
5E7. So I have a motion from Madam Vice Chair, second by
Me.
Commissioner Hartung. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Madam Chair, can we do a block vote, please?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair, I'm
Vice
sorry.
Chair. So,
I'm giving to you,
where?
turning over soon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, of course, I would request that we put in a block vote item number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
And that would be a motion?
Yes, that is a motion. Motion.
I have a
Oops.
motion
Oops.
by Madam Vice Chair, second by Commissioner Hartung. Mr. Manager, would you please read those for us?
Certainly. Item 6 is a recommendation to approve an increase to the construction agreement with Burdick Excavating Incorporated in the amount of $157,505.87, bringing the total contract amount to $3,057,455.87 for additional field work on the East Incline Village Phase 1 Water Quality Improvement Project, Washoe County, and if approved, direct the Comptroller's Office to make the appropriate budget adjustments. Item 7 is a recommendation to approve the removal of uncollectible accounts receivable totaling $604,655.20 for the accounts returned January 2017 through March 2017. Item 8 is a recommendation to approve a Regional Aviation Enforcement Raven grant in the amount of $242,210 with no match required from the Nevada Division of Emergency Management, federal fiscal year 2017, project number 17-3000, for the purchase of a FLIR thermal camera for the retroactive grant term of September 1, 2017 through August 31, 2019, and if approved, authorize Sheriff Allen to retroactively execute grant award documentation, direct Comptroller's Office to make the necessary budget adjustments. Item 9 is recommendation to approve the fiscal year 18 Community Case Managers Grant from the State of Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health to assist clients with a serious mental illness moving from chronic homelessness into transitional and permanent housing in the amount of $240,000 with no county match, retroactive from October 1, 2017 through September 30, 2018. Authorize the Director of Human Services to execute the grant and direct the Comptroller's Office to make the appropriate budget adjustments. And item 10 is a recommendation to approve the Master Services Agreement, including Statement of Work number 1, SAP Support Services, Statement of Work number 2, Database Support Services, and Statement of Work number 3, SAP Business Objectives Support Services between Washoe County and Rimini Street Incorporated for the single source purchase not to exceed $421,440. The term of the agreement will be 3 years upon execution of the agreement. And if approved, authorize the purchasing and contracts manager to execute the agreement.
All right. I have some public comment. I do have public comment signed in on these items. Ms. Kathy Brandhorst. Ms. Brandhorst? What item will you be speaking on this morning?
That's a good question because I do have 9, 10, and 11.
So 9 and 10 are currently in the block vote, 11 is not?
Oh, excuse me, that was 6, 8, 9. I think that was it.
Okay, 6, 8, and 9.
Yes.
The floor is yours, ma'am.
All right. My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I am the United States President. Regional Aviation Enforcement. $242,210. This is a grant. It's lawsuits at the airport. Oh my God. The lawsuits at the airport are growing so high because the military will go into the airport and they will land there in the airport. But who's standing there with machine guns? Open fire as they are climbing out of the airplane, the aircraft that they are in. Even while they're sitting still in the aircraft, you will fill the airplane with bullet holes. How much does that cost to replace the whole aircraft and the people? I just wanted to let you know that the problem is still going to exist because the emergency management is going to be called. Do they have insurance to pay for it? After you put the bullet holes in their bodies, you put the bullet holes inside the aircrafts. They didn't even have a chance. They don't carry guns on the airplanes. They don't carry guns, while they are traveling. Also, I just wanted to let you know, federal still comes from Mexico, the old Mexico. And you still use it here in the United States? Are we still deporting back to Mexico? Ask yourselves. Because they are the ones that carry the machine guns. They are the ones that carry the guns, the handguns, the bows and arrows, the bombs, the grenades in the United States to kill us all. And you're allowing it, even at the airports. There are going to be a lot of lawsuits against you because you did all the murders against the United States. Also, you have mentioned here on the project number 17-3000 for the purchase of a FLIR thermal camera.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right. Seeing no further public comment, bring it back to the board, and I'll call for the vote. I have a motion by Madam Vice Chair Berkbigler, second by Commissioner Hartung. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Cast your votes, please. All those opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Please affirm your votes. All right. Seeing that, we are on to item 11. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, item 11 is a possible action to introduce and conduct first reading of an ordinance amending Washoe County Code, Chapter 110, regarding administrative permits.
Madam Clerk.
All righty. This will be Bill number 1787, an ordinance amending the Washoe County Code at Chapter 110, Development Code of the Washoe County Code within Article 808, Administrative Permits, Section 808.40, parens B, to decrease the maximum number of days allowed from acceptance of a complete application for administrative permit to the required public hearing on the application from 50 to 65.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Vice Chair Berkbigler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I just wanted to point out that this is to clean up because the state requirement is 65 days and our requirement was 50, and so this is a cleanup proposal. But I also wanted to make a point that this is not a message to staff that you can delay your projects another 15 days. So I know staff works really hard on all the projects, and I appreciate everything you guys do. But we want to make sure that we're not saying, oh, okay, we've got extra 15 days to deal with this, that this is just really more cleanup work than anything else. And thank you very much for all you do. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Madam Vice Chair. Manager Slaughter.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to confirm, I did have that discussion with staff, and absolutely, this is not for that purpose. This will not delay project review another 15 days. That's fully understood.
Okay. Looking for an introduction.
Move to introduce Bill number 1787 with the second hearing to be on, I don't see it,
November 28th.
November 28th. Thank you. My bad.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. Mr. Manager, we are on to item 12.
Item 12 is possible action to introduce and conduct first reading of an ordinance amending Washoe County Code, Chapter 110, and this deals with water and sewer resource requirements.
Madam Clerk.
This will be Bill number 1788, an ordinance amending the Washoe County Code at Chapter 110, Development Code within Article 310, Temporary Uses and Structures, to update the standards within Article 422, Water and Sewer Resource Requirements, to remove the requirement to dedicate water rights to Washoe County for commercial, industrial, or civic uses in areas not served by the Truckee Meadows Water Authority or a general improvement district, and other matters necessarily connected therewith and pertaining thereto.
Okay. I do have public comment signed in for this, Miss Kathy Brandhorst. Ms. Brandhorst? I do have you signed in for public comment. Ms. Brandhorst, we are on item 12. It's the first reading of an ordinance amending Washoe County Code, Chapter 110. So I'd ask that your comments stay specific to that.
All right. My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I am the United States President. I just wanted to let you know it's the water and sewer resource requirements. To remove the requirement to dedicate water rights to Washoe County for commercial, industrial, or civic uses in areas not served by the Truckee Meadows Water Authority. Again, I am complaining about the poles and wires. The poles and wires that are connected to my apartment are still there. But the people who tried to remove the poles and wires were filled with bullet holes, and they were way on top of the pole up to the wires up there. And they were all falling down to the ground because the blood was gushing out of their bodies.
Ms. Brandhorst, this topic is not about that.
Oh, yes, it
It's about
is.
dedicating water rights. not
Yes, it
dedicating wires.
is, because the wires will pick up the water from my apartment, and it will carry the water out, and the wires are just full of water going to the direction where they are stealing my water. Oh. And stealing my water from my hot water tank is still going on too. And that has not been resolved either. You know, I've been hoping for a place to live for a long time, and this is not where I want to live. Also, I just wanted to let you know my hot water in my kitchen sink is still being stolen. There's no hot water most of the time. Oh, it's a little bitty teeny stream. Also, the sewer lines are always being used in my apartment because who else is going to use it? It's all the people that live there, squatters on the property that don't live there at all. So they're using my sewer line. And this is the problem. This is Article 422, Water and Sewer Resource Requirements. I don't have no choice. do I.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right, seeing no further, looking for an introduction at this time. Commissioner Hartung.
Mr. Chairman, I move to introduce Bill number 1788 with the second reading on December 12, 2017.
Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. Mr. Manager, we're on to item 13, please.
Item 13 is possible action to introduce and conduct a first reading of an ordinance amending Washoe County Code, Chapter 110, Article 310, which deals with temporary uses and structures.
Madam Clerk.
This will be Bill number 1789, an ordinance amending the Washoe County Code at Chapter 110, Development Code within Article 310, Temporary Uses and Structures, to update the standards within Section 110.310.35G, temporary occupancy for the care of the infirm, and other matters necessarily connected therewith and pertaining thereto. The code currently allows for temporary occupancy of a recreational vehicle, RV, or travel trailer by a person who provides care to an infirm resident of a single-family dwelling. The proposed updates eliminates the requirement that it be the caregiver who temporarily occupies the RV or travel trailer, and instead allows either the caregiver or the infirm person to occupy the RV or travel trailer.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I do have public comment signed in at this time. Ms. Kathy Brandhorst. Ms. Brandhorst, once again, we are on agenda item 13. Please reserve your comments specifically to the agenda.
Again, my name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I am the United States President. The temporary uses and structures. Well, I know that a lot of people cannot afford a place to live while they're in our area. They can't afford to go to a temporary room in a motel or a hotel. It's pretty expensive. So the people who are inside their trailers are parking in the parking lots near the motels and hotels and the casinos too. So who's going to be in them? It's going to be the homeless, because they will be occupying the trailer. They will be occupying the RV, which is permitted. I thought they were going to actually have them all removed off the property, but where are they going to park? I also heard that the RVs and trailers are also pulled out as soon as they are told to stay off the properties, but that's not true. We do have a trailer parked on our property, and it's still there, but the people who started to rent it were filled with bullet holes because they did not get permission to move in, and that's not true. They are paying rent. You know, the problem is, it says, or travel trailer by a person who provides care to an infirm resident of a single-family dwelling. Why would you have to put bullet holes in the person who already paid the rent? Oh. That is the question. And how are you going to put that person back together? He doesn't even remember he was inside the trailer. It says who temporarily occupies the RV or travel trailer. Well, they already paid their rent, so why would you put the bullet holes in them and tell them to move out? This has been a big, big problem for people who actually do get the permission to park there, but you won't allow them because you are the one that he is a victim, and you're the one that wants him out of that place, out of the trailer. You want him out completely, and that's the only way you can do it.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right, seeing no further public comment, bring it back to the board. Looking for an introduction at this time.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Hartung.
move to introduce Bill number 1789 with a second hearing on December 12th, 2017.
Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. We are on, Mr. Manager, to item 14, please.
Mr. Chair, item 14 is possible action to introduce and conduct a first reading of an ordinance amending the Washoe County Code at Chapter 110, Article 804, dealing with variances. And following the first reading, I thought perhaps Mr. Solero could give a brief explanation of this item.
Great. Madam Clerk.
This will be Bill number 1790, pursuant to NRS 278.319, an ordinance amending the Washoe County Code at Chapter 110, Development Code of the Washoe County Code within Article 804, Variances, to add Section 110.804.35, Minor Deviations, to allow the Director of the Planning and Building Division to grant minor deviations of standards within Chapter 110 of the Washoe County Code for deviations less than 10% of the applicable Development Code standard, to establish an application process for minor deviations and for other matters necessarily connected therewith and pertaining thereto.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Assistant County Manager Solero, could you please give us a brief insight to the purpose and reason for this ordinance change?
I can, thank you. For the record, Dave Solero, Assistant County Manager. So as you'll recall, at our latest retreat, this is one of the items to give a little bit of flexibility to staff and the consumer, the customer that we have. This is an example of this specific to variances, where we get an awful lot of people that are out building a structure. We request a setback letter. The contractor might have missed that setback. Instead of 10 feet, he might have missed it by a couple of inches. Currently, that's got to go through a process to get a variance to make sure that a couple-inch mistake is dealt with appropriately. This allows us as staff to grant a variance, an exception to that within the 10% piece. So it's customer service, it's more friendly, it's a little bit more flexibility for staff, specific to those things that, kind of the common sense approach that we've spoken about in the past.
Say it isn't so.
Okay, the two of you are going to have to go sit in timeout. Okay, I have public comment. Ms. Tammy, thank you, Mr. Solero. Ms. Tammy Holt still.
I do have the overhead.
Can I please have the overhead? Ms. Holt still. Obviously, we are on agenda 14, if we can keep it
Yeah,
on.
obviously.
Yeah.
Based upon what we were reading on there, the residents of Lemon Valley, after having to deal with the flooding and the issues that we have had out there, have decided to read it, understand it, and we have some major concerns about the reading or the wordage of this. Number one being minor deviations. It's very ambiguous, it's very vague. You talk about 10%, which actually equals out to 20%. It gives too much authority in one location. There's a process that is out there that the forefathers set forth, which meant that if there was something the developer wanted to change, he had to go through the processes, which meant that he puts it in front of the Planning Commission, they vote on it, it comes to you guys, you vote on it. There's a reason that it's done, and it's not to, we don't need to be giving, I understand small things, but this is not specific enough. It's too vague. It gives the planners themselves too much authority in the wrong locations. And that's how we see it, and we have letters opposing it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Holtstill. No, I see no further public comment. I'll bring it back to the board at this time for further discussion or a introduction. Introduce Commissioner Hartung.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just brief. I mean, I read this. I didn't get that same inference from it. That was not my impression from this at all. I've watched lots of things occur over the years where staff gets hobbled by a minuscule amount of incorrectness, let's just say, in an application or on a physical site. So I'm willing to introduce bill number 1790.
Hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
I do
Oh, I
have
beg
other
your pardon.
commissioners. Commissioner Herman?
In view of our public speaker, could we get staff to explain some limitations on this? What is allowable, what isn't?
Mr. Solero?
For the record, Dave Solero, Assistant County Manager. I think what I took from the public comment, the biggest piece of this is this also requires notification and acceptance by the neighbors, for this process to occur. So if the neighbors are in opposition to it, it would still go through the same process. This allows, however, staff to be able to expedite some of these little minor things that occur on a pretty regular basis, So there is, notification of the neighbors, acceptance by the neighbors, the directly affected parties to these minor variances. So,
Commissioner Herman, is that acceptable? Would you, or further comments?
Thank you very much.
All right. Seeing no further discussion by any of the commissioners, Commissioner Hartung.
One last point, Mr. Chairman, and that is if we look under previous actions, this did go to the Planning Commission and it was initiated by them, and so I am comfortable with the introduction. I move to introduce bill number 1790 with a second reading to occur, second hearing to occur on November 28th, 2017.
Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. All right. Mr. Manager, we are now to we did remove items 15 and 16 from the agenda this morning. We are now to the public hearing portion, which is item 17, so I will open the public hearing. So our public hearing is now open. So Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, this is item 17. This is a public hearing for a second reading and possible adoption of an ordinance amending Chapter 80 of the Washoe County Code regarding public works and county property.
All right. So seeing that this is a public, what's that? I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
Would you like your second reading,
I
sir?
would, thank you.
Okay. If adopted, this will be ordinance number 1602, an ordinance amending Chapter 80 of the Washoe County Code, Public Works, County Property, amending Section 80.620, unlawful parking in designated zones, deleting Section 80.640, Pringle Way, county property, amending Section 80.660, fines, bail, and providing for other matters properly relating thereto.
Thank you very much. We do, seeing as this was a public hearing, we do have public comment. So I'll open the public comment period at this time. Ms. Kathy Brandhorst. 1602.
Again, my name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I am the United States President. I just wanted to point out the Washoe County Code, Public Works, County Property. I live in the county, but you call it the county property. We do pay our property taxes, and you seem to collect it on our properties, but where is our help? When there is somebody who is my neighbor next door, doesn't really live there, doesn't belong there. They are the squatters who just murdered my neighbors so that they could move in to their home. Also, I just wanted to let you know, it says unlawful parking in designated zones. Well, what do you mean by that? People are not parking in the right place because they don't live there. But you still collect our county property taxes. We are in danger because that person is unlawful parking in our area. They don't live there. So they carry their machine guns, they shoot us down. because we had their vehicle removed from the property. Also, the county property, we do pay our taxes, we pay our rent, we pay, other people, like the gas and electric, we pay water, we pay sewer, we pay garbage. Oh, speaking about the garbage, I just wanted to let you know that people are throwing their garbage in my garbage can because they don't live there. How could they get the garbage and sewer on their property unless they pay it? They don't pay it. We're the ones that pay it. We're the ones that actually need help because why all the garbage is thrown out there. Yes, it says fines and bail. Well, when they're picked up by the police because they don't belong on the property, they are bailed out of jail.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. Seeing no further public comment, I'll bring it back to the board at this time. Commissioner Hartung, I just want to point out, just if you indulge me, I'd like to point out this is a finality to an issue that Commissioner Jung and I had worked on, and this is saving those spaces for electric cars, and for people taking advantage of spaces that are not for them, and for us to continue to push forward and encourage individuals to drive electric cars and utilize those companies that are building those such things within our state. So it's important. So I want to, I commend Commissioner Jung and her insight to helping get this completed. So, no, Commissioner Hartung.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would make a motion to adopt ordinance 1602 as outlined in the staff report.
All right.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hartung, second by Madam Vice Chair. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Place your votes. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Please affirm your votes. All right. Thank you very much. We are on to, Mr. Manager, we are on to our next public hearing, which is item 18.
Mr. Chair, item 18 is a public hearing, and this is pursuant to NRS 453A.3502 on a request from BioNeva Innovations of Washoe County to move a marijuana cultivation facility from the location issued with a State of Nevada Provisional Medical Marijuana Certificate at 200 Hocko Court to 85 Isidore Court in Sparks, Nevada. And if approved, direct staff to notify the State of Nevada in writing of the Board of County Commissioners' approval of the relocation request.
All right. Seeing this is a public hearing, I do have Ms. Kathy Brandhorst signed in for the public hearing.
Do you want to read the ordinance?
It's not an ordinance.
It's not an ordinance.
It's a move. An ordinance.
My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I'm also the United States President. I just wanted to let you know, LLC, they are out of business, but you still use them with the real estate. You rent houses illegally. You even sell houses illegally. And they have never been in business at all. Medical marijuana. Oh boy, here we go again. They get very high on the marijuana. They walk around the streets carrying their shotguns, their bows and arrows, their machine guns, their high-powered rifles. And guess what? We've got dead bodies again, lying all over the place because you have to be high on marijuana. The State of Nevada, in writing of the Board of County Commissioners, request to relocate. to a different place, like you're going to send it back to Sparks again? Well, I thought this was going to be destroyed. I thought this was going to be a building where you cannot sell any marijuana because you had to go to a doctor to find your marijuana and use it for doctor purposes only. But you know, even though you're going to transport this or relocate this marijuana to a different area, it's still going to be the same. They get high on the marijuana. They don't stop there either. It's now being murdered and even tortured, hanging by a tree trunk. Not only that, we find a body filled with bullet holes because you needed your revenge against that person because it's a victim. The victim never had the chance because behind him there's somebody walking behind them. And they don't even recognize you as the murderer. They don't recognize you high on marijuana. Well, I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you, Ms. Brandon.
I hope you don't relocate.
Thank you. All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
I would make a motion to approve this relocation.
I have a motion from Madam Vice Chair Burkbiggler, second by Commissioner Jung. I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Please affirm your votes. All right. Mr. Manager, we are on to...
Item 19.
We will close the public hearings. That's the end of our public hearings. We're on to our final public comment of the afternoon. At this time, Ms. Kathy Brandhorst, you are signed in for public comment.
My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I am the United States President. You know, both off and on are the commissioners that we have to talk to. We have to tell you everything that we are having on our minds. Our minds are full of different things that we need your help for. But have you been hired? No. You're not a county commissioner. But we still have to complain. We still have to show our concerns for everybody that's concerned for. Like I can see through my peephole from my door that these people are in lights. Who are they? The police, the sheriffs are in lights, but they are so small that you can't even tell who they are. Minnie Mouse also needs help. That's who I live with, my dolls. But Mickey Mouse still needs help. You're going to hang him by the neck. You're going to make sure that they are tortured to death. I just heard behind me that you're still torturing a little girl at 4.5 years old. You're still raping her. You're still holding her hostage. You tie her down to a bed. You tie her to a refrigerator to make sure that she is tortured to death. Oh, my God. You know, this is not what you're supposed to do in the United States. Please help that child. She's only 4.5 years old. You do make her look like an adult. You change the top so she has breasts now. You change her legs because she is taller now. But now she looks like an adult instead of a 4.5-year-old girl. She cries day and night. She screams day and night. that she still needs help. Who's going to help her? I just heard maybe the Shriner could help her, but we have not seen her we have not seen the Shriner in our territory to help us. The children do need help in that area because most of you are the murderers. You are the ones on death row. You are the ones on high on marijuana.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. Really appreciate your comments today. All right, we are on to commissioners and county managers' announcements. Any items from any of the commissioners at this time? Anything further? I did have one. Commissioner Hartung, you signed it right at the last minute there. Boy, you beat me to the punch. It's all you, sir.
No, I just, I thought I would sort of make it legal. I'd like to request a discussion on dedication of public streets and right-of-ways and how that process occurs.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that.
And the reasons for it occurring and how it does become access for future properties.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. And I would also like to, one other thing I'd like to bring back is I'd like to get an update from Human Services in regards, or staff, in regards to Crossroads, kind of an update where we are with how the program is going, current operations, and kind of get an update on that, and how it relates budgetarily and where we're at with things. So if you can bring that back fairly quickly, that would be appreciated. So that was only, Chris, I have. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, I do have two items. Excuse me. One, Fire Chief Moore asked me to remind everyone that even though we are cooling down and we have weather coming in, we are still in a fire season. So we had a wildland fire in the last week related to someone putting out some ashes. They thought had cooled in one of our provided cans, but reminder that needs water in that can also. It needs to stay in that can for a period of time. And then my last announcement, just a reminder for the board, but also for the public, there is no board meeting next week, the 21st. Our next scheduled meeting is November 28th.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. And yeah, and absolutely. I spent the weekend up in northern Humboldt County, and it is extremely dry out there. For as much water that's still out there, walking across there is a lot of dry grass, and so that would go the same for northern Washoe County. That make sure when you're driving off road with your vehicles that you're paying attention, you're carrying proper supplies with you, because it is absolutely still very dry out there. So, all right. Seeing nothing further, we are adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I won't drive my Lexus.